Hi everybody, how's it going? And welcome to my life as an Osteroraptor. We're gonna be living as this little guy for a little bit, trying to survive, trying to get to an adult. This is gonna be a different way than we usually do it for our Path of Titans stuff, because usually it's streams, but I decided this might be a cool idea to try out. So join us on our little journey here, huh? You guys hear that? I think it's God. Oh, it's a little baby. Utahs. Yeah. Hello, little guy. It's a Utah raptor. It looks more like a Utah raptor. Huh. What are you doing there, guy? Can you move? To give us a good sense of where we are. I want to be by the coast. I want to be in the woods. They're succulent right there, though. I'm living my best life. Over by the river. There wasn't enough succulent. I started it. I might as well finish it now. The world's so small. Or so big for me being so small. Things. All done. Okay. So now, we're gonna try to get to the coast. I wanna live on the islands. I want an island hop. Blop, 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 blop. Blop, 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 blop. Blop! What's that? Oh, it's a Utah Raptor. I'm gonna try to find my way to the coast without using markers on my map. I want this to be a cinematic experience. Sadly, I'm going to be talking through it because I think that commentary is nice. This will tell us where we are. Is that the big falls? I don't know. Are we like right on the cusp of the redwoods? No. We're not on the cusp of the redwoods. Where are we? Yeah. Yeah. Food. Now, Ostroraptor is one of my favorite kind of raptors. I love the crane-esque posture and stuff. It's always really, really cool to me. And we got a full stomach. So scurrying along we go. So a very cool thing about Ostroraptor is that they were a they were a kind of large raptor, right? They're about 15 to 20 feet in length, and they weighed up to about 1,000 pounds, maybe. And they were discovered in the southern hemisphere. And they lived in Argentina around the late Cretaceous period. Yeah, so that's pretty neat. I think it was pretty close to the redwoods. Yeah. Move my little bones. Oh. The really fun thing about these little guys is that they're semi-aquatic, which I think is great. Now, do we know if they were actually semi-aquatic? I guess it's something that could be considered given their body plan, but that can probably be put to interpretation. Oh, hey, eggs. Look at that. Hmm. Oh, a bird. I am very easy pickings for a fowl. Oh, that's food. That's something that might see me as food. Try to get away from the giggle chicken. What's that goober doing? Those are huge shells. I'm so small. I'm so very tiny. Mushrooms. Chanterelle and Deathcap. No! Trying to find a tree to land on. And nighttime is now upon us. Oh, look at that guy. A little Kulosuchus? No, I don't know where to find death caps. Maybe we'll cut until I find them, huh? Oh, wait. No, not death caps. Okay, so I have to find water very soon. We are almost doomed. Luckily, and or hopefully, that's the biggest snake I've ever seen. There might be a little pool of water somewhere around here. Whoa, why this? Oh, it seems safe to drink. Definitely not a health hazard at all. This muck is dietary fiber, of course. Dietary fiber. I know what chanterelle looks like, but I'm not seeing any chanterelle. I feel like I'm being stalked. Mushrooms. Yeah. I wanna be on that tree right there. That looks so cool. We're not making that jump. Hmm. Oh, this is sick. This is so cool. Can I get up the tree? I can. Oh, 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 no. Ow. I want to get further up the tree. Ow. Oh, no. What do you mean? I got further up before. No, no. What if I try this? And then I try to... Nope. Ah. Oh. Oh. Oh, my leg. Tree of life. Tree of pain. Oh, oh, rapidly healing. Because I'm good like that. Tree of pain. Tree of deceit. Water. Water. And now apparently I'm full on water for the next 5 minutes, and then I'll be dying again. See, I've kind of been hitting a rut with my Path of Titans stuff. And a lot of that's come from just plainly... There's not a lot to do with Path of Titans anymore, I'll be honest, guys. Like... It's hard to do things without my friends, by myself, like making this video. But also, it's hard to do anything new or exciting. This new map is just weird. Like, I enjoy how it looks. I'm not a big fan of how it plays. Like, if you're not really anything semi-aquatic, you shouldn't go to these islands. You really shouldn't. You're going to die of thirst. And if you don't die of thirst, you're going to die of lack of food. Or you're going to get murked by something in the water. It's odd, which leaves just the upper, I guess, third of the map, which is large. It's just not, I don't know. It's hard to balance it, I guess. Kind of missing Gwanda and Cosmo. Fairly Odd Parents, that's right. Pop. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Like, I don't know, fellas. There's 104 people on the server. I've seen a small group of people by the water. I've seen one guy, and maybe it's because they're prepping for the 200-player servers. Maybe this map will feel more alive and play differently when there's 100 more people on it. You know what I mean? But until then, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Path of Titans worries me because it's very stagnant, right? Nothing feels super new. When you get new playable, it doesn't feel different in a way. It feels kind of generic now. And along with that comes the problem that I've been having with Path of Titans, is that you're always doing the same thing. Like, they've been doing these quest updates and saying it's a major overhaul, and it's just been adding more tasks. It hasn't felt like a big change. Another Astra right there. That was wild to run into. Not want to get involved with another Astra right now. I'm being followed by this Astra. I don't know, man. I don't know. Path of Titans has a lot of potential, but it also feels very generic now. What I mean by that is, like, all your tasks you're doing are generic. Everything you're trying to accomplish is generic. There's no differences really between carnivore quests and herbivore quests besides maybe kill this thing. And that sucks. It really does. And I don't want it to be like I'm sending off Path of Titans or anything. I mean, I'll probably do some live streams with my friends every now and again. It's just... it's not where it should be right now. At all. With the amount of content that it's supposedly rolling out, it doesn't feel like it's doing that great of a job. The TLCs are coming even slower, I've noticed, after this map's release. But for what? Like, what else are they working on right now? Because we haven't seen anything. There's nothing else that we have information on. You know? I don't know. It's very difficult to keep my hopes high for this game. When I haven't seen much of a reason to, you know what I mean? Sure, it's a new map, but at what cost? You know? I feel like they could have took out Rainbow Hills and added Redwoods on there instead. Because who likes to go to Rainbow Hills? Who likes to look at that? I don't. I really think it's dumb, I'll be honest. I think Rainbow Hills is like the worst spot on that map. And they could have overhauled their first map too. Like, they could have done a massive overhaul on that instead. Like, they have the ability to do these things, and they haven't. And maybe they're working on it. And I get that this is supposed to be more of a aquatic, semi-aquatic friendly map. But I feel like they could have just designed Gowanda better. Like, it's not that difficult to make these rivers and stuff connect. Make it easier and more accessible for these creatures. And it just seems like they don't want to. And this is not... this is kind of a negative video, and I understand that. And it might be my last Path of Titans video that I do for a while. Again, it's not counting live streams or anything, but it's definitely... it's definitely not the game that I was playing years ago. And that could be burnout on my end. That could be a lot of it. Or it is the exact same game I started playing years ago. And that to me is even more concerning. Because what has changed? Genuinely what has changed? They added a new dinosaur. They added a new swimming dino. But we already had Prognathodon. We already had Sachi and all of that. Tylosaur hasn't changed. You know what I mean? What happened? What? And then, like, what's that? You know? Like, what is that? But the modding community is, like, beating them to the punch for creatures as well. Genuinely, they're, like, beating them to the punch, making these official dinos that come out significantly less exciting. Like, I am not as intrigued. Microraptor might be fantastic. I'm not saying that Microraptor won't be, but we have Microraptor and Leeds coming out, and Leeds isn't going to be... it'll probably be worse than Leviathan. You know what I mean? And it probably just won't feel as good as Leviathan. Microraptor's the only thing that'll bring in, like, a new playstyle, a new mechanic, a new kind of all of that. But then, even then, unless you have a mob of them, you're not going to kill anything with them. They're going to be these little spy guys that probably fly around and annoy you, kind of like Ramp. You know? And it's difficult. It's hard. I guess the server crashed or kicked me out or something. I don't know. But oh, I got removed because somebody more important was joining. And it's also finding a good server. The server that I'm part of, like, it makes sense. They need to make some money. But I just got kicked out in the middle of recording a video. Because somebody paid money for a spot on this server. And officials just don't have a lot of fun. It just feels like a battle royale on officials. You know what I mean? So you gotta, like, rely on community servers, but then the community servers have situations like this, or have situations like a couple other servers that I played on, where there's just horrific admins running those servers. This one, I enjoy this one. I do, but this is ridiculous. I'm kicked out of the server right now because somebody paid money and I didn't. And that's, like, I think my only gripe I have with it. I'm not gonna drop any names because obviously I don't want to hate going to these servers or anything, but it's exhausting. I'm genuinely becoming more and more exhausted with Path of Titans because it's the same thing. Even with new modded dinos being added to, like, these servers and stuff that I play on, they don't have the same abilities, but it's the same running. It's the same going from place to place and collecting. It's the core of the game that I feel is lacking for me at this point in time. And I really hope that changes. I do. Because I feel like Path of Titans has a lot of potential, but it's just not... It's not as fun anymore as I wish it was. And I feel like that's because of how stagnant it is. That's because of how indifferent and unyielding the mechanics are. There's no really new way to play. It's all the same buttons, it's all the same things. Granted, certain dinos you have to attack a little differently. You have to kind of be a little more patient here and there with certain dinosaurs. But at the end of the day, you're just biting, tail riding. You know what I mean? It's all these same things. And I'm exhausted with it. I'm very tired with it. And this became more of a commentary video on the state of Path of Titans rather than what I was originally going for, and that's okay. Because I feel like I'm not the only one who feels this way. I feel kind of just disappointed with how it's gone recently with Path of Titans, and like, we get all these new things, but that's a high that lasts for like 3 days. Because at the end of the day, it's not any different than it was 3 years ago. 4 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago. You know what I mean? It's not. And that sucks. That sucks a lot. Because there needs to be a lot of work done for Path of Titans to feel better. I feel like the growth system is alright. I enjoy having to try to grow my creature. I don't enjoy where the quests are. I don't enjoy it. They're still glorified fetch quests. They all are. Even the new ones. Yeah, and then they add these little blue guys that just give you another fetch quest. That just give you another go collect these things. Like, that's cool. You added these creatures that that you can interact with, but then they just give you the same quest, right? And that's not fun. That's not okay. That's not interesting or cool or revamped quests. No, you just added the same type of quests to quests that are already there. You just kind of were like, here's some variety of your fetch quests. Not here's an entirely different thing. And the crows, I feel like the crows with the vantage points are the newest. You know what I mean? The most new form of way to get growth and marks. And you press one button and then you leave it alone. And that's the newest kind of thing that they've added. You've got these dens that you're supposed to kill a bunch of critters at, but you also have a kill this many critter, kill that many critter. You know what I mean? And that sucks. It does. So I think for a while we're probably going to be staying more around Ark. I'll probably be putting out more Ark videos again. I've definitely been slacking on a lot of my content, making a lot of my content recently. It's been, I don't know, maybe I've just burnt myself out a little bit, and I'm just kind of having to take it slow to kind of rebuild myself. Um, but yeah, guys, I think I think I'm at the end with Path of Titans for right now. I'll I'll definitely come back. I know I'll come back, but at the moment, I just don't. I don't see myself making content that's enjoyable for both me and you guys. And so I think this is going to be it for a while for Path of Titans. Thank you so much for everybody supporting me. Thank you so much for just watching and supporting the channel. And I hope to see you guys on the other stuff that I do, especially with Arkansas. So to kind of wrap up my final thoughts, everyone, I get that the game's in beta, but things need to change on it. They really do. The fundamental core mechanics of the game are incredibly flawed right now for me and for a lot of my friends and such. It's the same old, and that's rough. I don't feel good about spending money on any new dinosaurs that they release after the initial roster because it's gonna be the same. The quests are no different. They just found new ways to give you different fetch quests and new ways to tell you to kill the same critters. And it's just not where I think the game's development should be in 3 to 4 years of playing. Um and that's just me. You know, that's okay. That's just my opinion, that's just my thoughts. So thank you everyone again. Stay hydrated, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.